times what we do is that the thing that God has called us into, the very thing that God has called us into, we try to say, well, if I can get into enough trouble, if I can tell enough lies, you know I'm a convicted felon. God can't use a convicted felon. You know I've had a child out of wedlock. God cannot use somebody that has a child out of wedlock. You know I was a drug dealer. God can't use a drug dealer. He won't use a drug dealer. You know I committed adultery. God can't use someone who's committed adultery. I'm not talking about nobody else, I'm talking about myself. God, you know I have a drinking problem. God can't use somebody with a drinking problem. You know I'm nothing more than a liar or a hypocrite or a background. God can't use anybody like that. See, what I want you to understand, no matter how much dirt you try to shovel up on yourself, no matter how many lies, no matter if you were molested or raped, it doesn't matter what took place in your life. I want you to understand, nothing that the enemy can throw at you, no dirt that the enemy can shovel up on your head will ever be able to affect the point, the purpose that God has instituted, the thing that God has called you to. I don't care how much shame you walk in. I don't care how many lies were told about you. I don't care who hurt you. You need to understand that nothing can stop the plans and the purpose that God has for your life. Look at it. So you got to understand, as you were walking in the thing and you thought you was messing this thing and you thought you was getting out of God's divine plan and God's divine purpose. See, God sealed you. God healed you. And God covered you because God knew there was going to be a day. There was going to be a time that He was going to bring you from the background, Moses. He was going to bring you from the brook. He was going to bring you from the backside of the wilderness. And He was going to bring you to stand before Pharaoh and tell Pharaoh to let the people go. See, Moses says, I can't go do this because I killed a man. There's some things, some shame, there's some blood up under these nails. And God, you can't use me. And God says, see, you don't understand. I already knew you was going to do that. I already knew you was going to make a mistake. But what I have done, I put you in place and I sealed you and I covered you. And the very thing that God has used you for. So you got to understand that all that dirt you walked in, all that dirt you lived in, none of it got into and affected the purpose that God has.